Eric Clapton, a name synonymous with blues rock guitar mastery, is also a man acquainted with profound sorrow. In 1991, tragedy struck when his 4-year-old son, Connor, fell from the 53 RD floor window of a New York City apartment building. This devastating event shattered Clapton, plunging him into a depth of grief he had never known. Yet, amidst this darkness, Clapton turned to music, his lifelong companion, to navigate the labyrinth of his sorrow. Little did he know his lament would resonate far beyond his personal anguish, touching countless hearts around the globe. The music world held its breath, uncertain if the guitar legend would ever recover from such a profound loss. Instead, it became the catalyst for one of the most poignant and universally relatable songs ever written. Tears in Heaven, born from the depths of unimaginable sorrow, transcended the boundaries of genre and personal experience. It became an anthem for anyone who had ever loved and lost. The song, a raw outpouring of a father's love and despair, resonated with millions. Clapton, through his music, created a space for shared mourning, a collective embrace of pain and loss. Tears in Heaven became a testament to the power of music to heal, to connect, and to transcend even the deepest wounds. March 20th, 1991, began like any other day for Eric Clapton. He was in New York City, enjoying a rare moment of normalcy with his young son, Connor. The two had spent the day together, visiting the Central Park Zoo and sharing precious father-son moments. Later that afternoon, while Clapton was away, tragedy struck. Connor, full of life and curiosity, was left in the care of a nanny at his mother's apartment. A maintenance worker was cleaning windows in the apartment, and one had been left open. In a split second, the unthinkable happened. Connor, drawn to the open window, fell from the 53rd floor. The world stood still as the news of Connor's tragic accident spread. Clapton, upon receiving the news, was inconsolable. The music industry mourned the loss of innocence, the tragic reminder that even those seemingly blessed with fame and fortune are not immune to life's cruel twists of fate. The tragedy sent shockwaves through Clapton's life, leaving him reeling in grief and disbelief. Music, once his refuge and passion, became a painful reminder of what he had lost. In the wake of Connor's death, Clapton retreated from the public eye, seeking solace in the English countryside. Surrounded by the tranquility of nature, he began the slow and agonizing process of confronting his grief. Music once again became his sanctuary, a way to channel the overwhelming emotions that threatened to engulf him. He picked up his guitar, the familiar weight both comforting and painful. The strings, silent for weeks, vibrated with his sorrow as he poured his heart into his music. Each note, each chord, was imbued with the rawness of his grief, the longing for his lost son, and the desperate search for meaning in the face of senseless tragedy. Through the process of songwriting, Clapton began to navigate the labyrinth of his grief. It was during this period of intense introspection and creative outpouring that Tears in Heaven began to take shape. Tears in Heaven is a poignant ballad that lays bare the rawness of grief and the struggle to find meaning in the face of unimaginable loss. The song's lyrics, simple yet profound, capture the universal emotions of love, loss, and the search for solace after the death of a loved one. Each verse is a heart-wrenching plea from a father grappling with the loss of his child. The opening lines, "Would you know my name? If I saw you in heaven," are both heartbreaking and hopeful. They express the uncertainty of the afterlife while clinging to the desperate hope of reuniting with his son. The lyrics reflect the universal human desire for connection beyond the veil of death, the yearning to believe that love transcends even the finality of death. The chorus, with its haunting melody and simple yet powerful words, speaks to the shared grief felt by those who have lost loved ones. Clapton's lyrics resonate with anyone who has ever loved and lost, offering solace and understanding in the shared language of grief. When Tears in Heaven was released in 1992, it was met with an outpouring of emotion from listeners worldwide. The song, initially featured in the film Rush, quickly transcended its cinematic origins to become an anthem for those grappling with loss and grief. People from all walks of life connected with the raw emotion and vulnerability in Clapton's voice, finding solace in his words. Radio stations played the song on repeat, and it climbed the charts globally, reaching #1 in several countries. The song's success was not driven by marketing or hype, but by the genuine emotional connection it forged with listeners. Clapton, known for his electrifying guitar solos and blues rock anthems, revealed a different side of himself through Tears in Heaven. He allowed himself to be vulnerable, to express his pain and vulnerability to the world. This vulnerability resonated deeply with listeners, breaking down barriers and creating a sense of shared humanity. The song's impact extended beyond the music charts, becoming a source of comfort for those who had lost loved ones. The success of Tears in Heaven was bittersweet for Clapton. While the song brought solace and connection to countless listeners, it also served as a constant reminder of his own profound loss. Performing the song live was particularly difficult, often bringing him to tears on stage. The deeply personal nature of the song made it difficult for Clapton to separate his own grief from the public's reaction to it. Despite the challenges, Clapton continued to perform Tears in Heaven for several years after its release. He recognized the healing power the song held for others and felt a sense of responsibility to share it. However, the emotional toll of revisiting his grief night after night eventually became too great. In 1999, Clapton made the difficult decision to retire Tears in Heaven from his live performances. Despite its universal appeal and therapeutic effect on listeners, Eric Clapton expressed ambivalence towards Tears in Heaven. He acknowledged the song's significance in helping him process his grief, but also admitted to feeling apprehensive about its emotional impact on both himself and his audience. The rawness of the emotion embedded within the song made it a double-edged sword, offering solace while simultaneously reopening old wounds. Clapton confessed that performing Tears in Heaven night after night took an emotional toll. Each performance was a visceral reminder of his loss, a reopening of the wound that, while healing, never truly closed. In a 1999 interview, Clapton announced his decision to retire Tears in Heaven from his live performances. He stated that he no longer felt the same emotional connection to the song and that it was time for him to move on musically. While Tears in Heaven may no longer be a staple of Clapton's live performances, its legacy endures. Over 2 decades since its release, Tears in Heaven remains an iconic ballad etched in the annals of music history. Its enduring legacy lies not only in its commercial success, but also in its profound emotional impact on generations of listeners. The song's ability to transcend cultural and generational boundaries speaks to the universality of grief and the power of music to offer solace and connection. Tears in Heaven has become a staple at funerals, memorials, and candlelight vigils, offering a musical language for collective mourning. Its message of love, loss, and hope resonates deeply with those grappling with the loss of loved ones, providing comfort and a sense of shared humanity. The song's ability to evoke such raw emotion has solidified its place as a timeless anthem of grief. Tears in Heaven continues to inspire musicians across genres, with countless covers and reinterpretations emerging over the years. Its simple yet powerful melody and relatable lyrics have made it a popular choice for aspiring musicians and seasoned professionals alike. While the lyrics of Tears in Heaven are undeniably heart-wrenching, the song's melody plays an equally important role in conveying the complexities of grief and hope. Composed in the key of G major, often associated with feelings of peace and tranquility, the melody evokes a sense of melancholy beauty, reflecting the bittersweet nature of remembrance. The song's chord progression, characterized by its simplicity and repetition, creates a hypnotic effect, drawing the listener into Clapton's emotional journey. The use of sus chords, which create a sense of yearning and suspension, further enhances the song's emotional depth, reflecting the unresolved nature of grief. The melody's arc, starting in a lower register and gradually ascending, mirrors the emotional trajectory of the lyrics, moving from despair to a glimmer of hope. The interplay between the major key signature, the melancholic melody, and the hopeful lyrics creates a sonic landscape that is both heartbreaking and uplifting. Tears in Heaven is more than just a song. It is a testament to the power of music to articulate the depths of human emotion. It is a poignant reminder that even in the face of unimaginable loss, there is beauty in remembrance, hope in despair, and solace in shared sorrow. Eric Clapton, through his own journey of grief, created a musical masterpiece that continues to resonate with millions worldwide. The song's enduring legacy lies in its ability to connect with listeners on a deeply personal level. It transcends cultural and generational boundaries, offering a universal language for grief, love, and hope. Whether played at a funeral, a memorial service, or simply listened to in moments of quiet reflection, Tears in Heaven provides solace, understanding, and a poignant reminder that even in the darkest of times, love endures. The song's message of hope, woven through the fabric of grief, is perhaps its most enduring quality. Tears in Heaven will forever be etched in the annals of music history as a timeless anthem of loss and love.